Welcome back to another Beards and Brews. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ring that little bell so you know when we have another one brewing. This week's review, it's going to be Batman Forever from 1995. Fellas, what'd you think?
I thought the intro to this movie felt proper. It feels, in the first 5 minutes anyways, like a Tim Burton Batman film, of which they like to slap Tim Burton's name all over.
No, you mean Tim Burton?
Yes. And then it quickly turns into merchandising forever.
Merchandising. I mean, you say this movie starts out on the right note, but really, I get the feeling Joel Schumacher just watched Superman and that's it. Off the bat, it is a huge tonal departure from the first two films, helmed by Tim Burton and everything.
Yeah.
And the stab at the whole Superman thing, this title sequence is just basically ripped straight from that 1970s movie.
Like, one big difference that I have between the Tim Burton movies and the first of Joel Schumacher's two Batman movies that he's directed. Okay, where Tim Burton's movies they're very dark and sort of gritty, dirty. This is also dark, but very bright too. There's bright colors everywhere. There's neon lights. I don't know, it's a little bit shiny.
The first two have that gothic look, like down in spades.
Uh-huh.
This movie just looks like a seedy back alley in Las Vegas.
It looked, to me, like someone took the fucking city from Fifth Element and then turned the brightness down. The buildings were all so fucking tall. Like, I know skyscrapers, but everything was in the clouds. Like, McDonald's in the clouds. Fucking whatever, in the clouds. It's just ridiculous.
It's almost like the director went out of his way to just personalize everything without really giving the feeling of his own style. It's almost like he took Tim Burton stuff and slapped some shiny shit on it and called it a day. And on top of that, there's not a single straight shot in this film. It's all fucking tilted Dutch angles.
Oh my god, I was going to talk about the fucking cuts too. Like, Jesus Christ. If a punch is thrown, there's 6 different takes of it.
Yeah, it's really weird to talk about a movie that seems lazy and overproduced at the same time.
Yeah, that's kind of a good way of putting it. Like, it is both of those.
Now, I want to get into why I said the intro feels proper. It sets you up with, like, at first, that dark tone, that same music that you recognize from the first two films, that iconic Batman theme. And then you see Batman, and there he is. He's wearing the old Batman outfit, and you go, yeah, that's Batman. He looks good. Val Kilmer's chin passes as Michael Keaton. They even make sure to, like, light him from the top and shoot him from below to really focus on just that bit. And then it really starts to go downhill 5 minutes later. Whatever.
I don't know why, but I've never really thought about this as a direct sequel to those Tim Burton movies. It just feels kind of like the Schumacher movies feel together like their own thing to me.
I see your point, and it's much easier to just kind of like separate the two duologies at that point, but the movie just immediately makes sure you're aware of its villain of the week.
Yeah, the opening gives us the introduction to Tommy Lee Jones's character, Two-Face, which we have no backstory on him so far. He's just fucking fuchsia half of a face.
This movie just jumps straight into theatrics. It just automatically assumes that everybody going to see this movie knows exactly who these characters are, and they're just like, hey, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought Tommy Lee as Two-Face would have been an amazing idea. I like some of the things he's doing, like with the whole, they shoot him from the one side and he talks very eloquently, and then they shoot him from the other side and he's just over the top bizarre. Mm-hmm. But that bizarre half is too far bizarre. It's not dark. It's just
like wacky.
One side is Two-Face and the other side's fucking the Joker. And then you have the Riddler, who is the Joker.
Eric, did you say wacky?
Wacky in my movie?
It's more likely than you think.
Yeah, I mean, it comes off as like a Saturday morning cartoon, but it's not really a compliment in this case. I mean, you got Jim Carrey just acting the fuck up, and poor Tommy Lee Jones just trying to keep up with his antics and trying not to get overshadowed by anything. And with all that going on, that's just juxtaposed with Val Kilmer's just completely wooden performance, and it just kind of undermines the whole thing.
Yeah, I think you're right in that maybe Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face and Jim Carrey as the Riddler when they're trying to go to their maximum, they might maybe be a little bit too similar of characters, and that they're just both trying to be this over-the-top clown kind of thing. Maybe if they had, like, instead of Two-Face, they brought in, like, Bane or something like that. I don't know.
Like Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, and just add Poison Ivy, make it a party.
You might be onto something.
But this is also where we get, like, the intro of the movie. You know, he's fucking robbing a bank. It's, you know, the Gotham job. And it's so ridiculous that, again, as a child watching this, I'm sure you would be having a blast.
This came out in 95. I was 10. I watched this in theaters as a child. Was not having a blast. I'll tell you that.
What blew my mind was just how ridiculous things were as a departure from what we knew. So Batman used his grappling hook in the first film to save Vicky Vale. As he's doing so, there's a weight limit. He can't even, you know, retract fully up while he's attached. He has to let go so he can save her. As opposed to now, this fucking bat hook literally swings that safe back into a building after it's been yanked out by the helicopter. And I was like, holy shit, what the fuck is going on?
Well, you know, technological advances and everything.
I guess Alfred brought his A game. Got to keep that safe.
But this is also where we introduce the love interest, played by Nicole Kidman. Her name is Chase Meridian. I don't know a whole lot about the Batman comics. Is she like a character? Is that somebody?
You mean as a character at all in this movie? No, she's just like 100% horn dog for some bat dick.
Yeah, no. I wrote down several times, horny for Batman.
My exact line is, bats aren't rodents. Moistness intensifies.
Yeah, bats aren't rodents. Wow, you are interesting. How was that interesting?
It's the car. Chicks digs the car.
I guess.
Just seeing how hard Bruce was just trying to get away from her, trying to get in his bat pants, just made him feel like an awkward incel. It was really fucking weird.
It makes about as much sense as the goddamn light up Tommy guns.
I mean, what solidifies it is a little speech he gives. He's just like, I haven't had luck with women, and oh gosh, jeez.
Yeah, like he could have smashed like 4 or 5 times.
Agreed, but instead he smashed through her fucking door.
True. Yeah.
Oh, since when is the Statue of Liberty in Gotham City?
Yeah, I was like, I guess they're just not hiding that Gotham City is New York City now. They're not even like doing illusions. It just straight is.
I mean, that would take imagination, and I think Joel Schumacher's goes as far as neon and black lights.
Now, this is like our introduction to Batman saving the city from Two-Face, and then we have to get introduced to Bruce Wayne and his little partner lackey dude, Enigma, played by Jim Carrey.
Oh yeah, like, is that canon? Is that his real name in canon? Enigma.
Yep, Edward Nigma.
That's disappointing.
I suppose, but I'm always reminded of the old Batman TV show from the 60s, and that stuff just comes off as cheesy but charming. This one just comes off as just almost hateful to the source material.
No, I get that. Almost like he's going, look how stupid what you like is.
I'm glad somebody else picked that up, because some of the stuff just gets a yikes from me.
Now, Edward Nigma has this idea for this direct brainwave technology, and he's like a blushing schoolboy. He, too, has moistness that intensifies for Bruce Wayne.
Oh yeah, his butthole is wet.
Oh, bro. Ooh. But think about this. What if Bruce would have encouraged him instead of being like, that's bad? Could you imagine all the fucking crazy R&D Batman would have?
I guess so, but like, you know, Bruce ran the numbers like, you can't just be fucking around with people's brains or nothing. And I guess it just came up to just his delivery. Like, he did come off as like an asshole. He's just like, no.
It's a little bit asshole-ish, but also, like, I mean, this guy's crazy, and you can tell it. How did this guy get a job? Like, what kind of interviews did he go through to get a job at Wayne Enterprises?
Like, for real. Like, who in HR let that dude in?
For real.
He's smart, but he's going to stab at least 3 people. Nah.
Look, a doctorate is a doctorate, no matter if you went to evil medical school.
Yeah, so basically he's a crazy guy. He's got these crazy brainwave things to where you can exactly what does this do? The first thing that he introduces, it's supposed to be like you put it on top of a TV and the viewer is supposed to think that they're inside the show.
Yeah, it's like a 90s VR headset, but the caveat is that like Edward Nygma can just peer into people's minds and see everything that they know.
Also, one small little drawback to it. I don't know if you guys noticed this. It's actually a fucking blender. It's just a blender.
Yes.
Look, the DeLorean time machine's Mr. Fusion is just a coffee maker. It doesn't bother me.
Got to
Dude.
do what you got to do, I guess.
Now, he's like, no, I don't like you. And it immediately like hard cuts to the bat signal and fucking Nicole Kidman up there in lingerie trying to get that bat D.
Yeah, and how'd she get up there? Like, where is that coming from? That's on top of like the
I thought it was supposed to be on top of police headquarters for when Commissioner Gordon needed Batman the most, but like, I guess he saw the signal himself and he just shows up later on. He's like, hey, I saw the signal and gosh, I was curious.
Yeah. I have a lot of questions about like the rooftops of Gotham City. We'll get to it later, but things just don't add up.
Hopefully one of those questions is why is every building either 10 stories tall or 10,000 stories tall?
Also, once you're up there, like, how do you get down?
You jump and you don't die. Batman does it at least 8 times. Just floating around this place.
No, and let's say theoretically, hear me out. Theoretically, what if you, let's say, drive a car up to the top of a building? How does that car get down?
It drives down the other side using the grappling hook.
I mean, there are options. You could either take the Batmobile up the sheer side of a building or ride an elevator with a horse.
I would love to see Batman go up an elevator on a horse.
He just taps the side. He's like, this baby runs on carrots and has 1 horsepower.
Hell yeah.
She talks about his suit. She's like, I love black rubber. And that's what the suit is made of, yes. But that also ruins any of the, idea that this suit can stop a bullet or a knife or anything if it's just black rubber.
And he just rolls with it too. He doesn't even try to mansplain the whole Kevlar whatever. I can survive a fireball. He's just like, hey, yeah, this is just my gimp suit with bat ears.
Whenever the fireball washed over him, he was just melted and stunk of a tire fire.
And underneath, he just looked like one of those people from Pompeii or whatever.
Yes. Just jerking under his cloak one last time.
He just got a bat crank one out.
But aside from being up there to try and get that Bat D, I guess the professional reason she called him up there was to say, hey, Two-Face, his Achilles heel, his secret weapon or whatever is his coin. Yeah, fucking obviously, like...
I guess, thank goodness, the greatest detective of all time just glossed over something.
But you got to remember it because you're the dumb viewer, and it's going to come back 2 hours later to save the day.
Thank God.
Now, while this is going on, Jim Carrey is being fired over at Wayne Tech. And this is where I got my first chuckle. He puts that little helmet on the guy and kicks him out of the window in a rolly chair, and he's like, wait! And he has to give him one more pun. He's like, maybe you're not fired, maybe you're terminated. And then he pulls the fucking helmet off his head and lets him fall down. And he's like, ooh, a little rough on the landing or some shit like that.
I guess I'll have to settle for the broad.
Yes.
He's fun and all that, but he's not really doing anything Riddler-y. He's just 90s Jim Carrey.
For sure, yeah. Like, I kind of see this as, the natural progression of, the Jim Carrey in The Cable Guy. I know Cable Guy came after this, but, I mean...
I dig it. I mean, his Blender TV stuff just proves his affinity for cable.
He's on a work release program at Arkham. We get a treat, which is, to me, had me fucking cracking up. The backstory for Harvey Dent. It shows a mob boss throwing acid in Harvey Dent's face in court. And Batman's just sitting in the goddamn courtroom and he vaults the fucking pew like, no. Why is he just chilling in court?
I don't know. Maybe he was just chilling. I mean, how cool would it be to just look across the way and then Batman's juror number 9?
Guilty.
But Bruce Wayne gets a note that there's been an incident at Wayne Industries, and the boss has been killed, thrown through a window. There's a suicide note. Conveniently enough, there is a suicide note, and I love the way that Jim Carrey just like hands it over and is like, it's totally in his handwriting. You'll find that. Also, his signature, perfect.
I think at this point he just realized how just absolutely stupid it was.
True.
And of course, Commissioner Gordon is just written so stupidly. He just sees the note and he's just like, "Yep, ship shape."
Open and close, suicide. And
nor do they address the fact that there's a video of the guy just running and diving out the window. Who? What?
Yeah.
As an audience member, you can kind of put two and two together if you want to figure out how that worked, but it took the movie like an hour and a half just to divulge that information. You figured out pretty much immediately.
Did it?
Yeah, it was like much later on when he was figuring out the last clue, and it's like just as he's leaving the room and the scene, he was just like, this was all just like manipulated TV footage that he used after extracting it from his brain.
Magnificent.
All right, so the next noteworthy thing that I encountered in this movie is an early track from one of my favorite bands, the Flaming Lips. Just the Riddler chilling out at his residence, listening to the Flaming Lips, I guess. Just like not even one of the big songs in the 90s from them, but I mean, that's cool.
Why is he dressed like Gallagher?
He goes through quite a few wardrobe changes in this movie. Some of them good, some of them, most of them, just weird.
I don't know. I think the only good costume he had was the one that he just started with, just like regular scientist man.
You don't like the green spandex?
I think it would be good if it had an entrance and not just Jim Carrey just like schmoozing into Tommy Lee Jones's scene with his little plays.
You mean it would be good if he didn't just like walk onto the scene dick first?
You can't just point out his diddler like that.
No.
My favorite is at the end when he is Zool.
Oh man, you're 100% right on that one.
But is this where he's trying to make up his fucking name?
Oh yeah, it's he's trying to find his evil identity, so he's trying all these like little computer simulations to see what he looks like, and his little like carnival Riddler dude behind him, he's like, nah, no, you gotta pick the one that looks like me, nah.
Ugh.
Yeah, I feel that.
But he just drops off the fucking riddle at Bruce Wayne, and he doesn't find it till the next morning, and the riddle's unimportant, so I'm just going to skip it, because that whole fucking him leaving riddle shit was stupid and unnecessary.
Okay, none of the riddles are good or, like, hard. Like, they all take, like, 30 seconds to come up with. It's like, oh, yeah, it's a chess pawn. I didn't even get through reading it. It's a fucking chess pawn.
Yeah, the riddle is literally, hey, we're the pieces on the chessboard that are all the same. There's 8 of us. Pawn.
Yeah.
Ah, you got it.
I'll get you next time.
Now, there's a whole fucking thing coming up to where he has not a date, or a fucking appointment with Chase Meridian. And she's in there boxing, and he thinks she's being assaulted, and he knocks down the whole door, and his performance is outshined by the door falling.
The whole ass door. And you can tell, like, as he's picking up the pieces of the door, this thing weighs like an ounce. Like, what? Oh. This is a big, nice building, strong wooden walls. This door is made of cardboard.
You can kind of run with the idea that, Batman's a little bit of a stronger dude from fighting crime with his fists. But then, like, later on, he takes his shirt off. He's like, man, what are you doing here, Doc Holliday? Get some protein.
He was like, the suit will give you muscles. Don't worry about it.
And nipples, too.
Yeah, nipples.
Ugh. Now, can we talk about her Rorschach painting?
Oh, the Rorschach test is clearly a bat?
Yes. It's clearly a fucking bat. Like, it's just a bat. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's a fucking bat. And she's like, oh, well, you would only see a bat if you got bats on the brain. It's like, nah, bitch, that's a bat.
Hey, bitch, do you see a dick? Do you see a bat dick? Because that's what's on your brain.
He says that, and it turns out he just never had pants on for the whole scene.
He goes, I gotta get you out of those clothes. And she's like, excuse me? And into this circus. Fuck, dude. Fuck.
Into a black dress so we can go to the What? Like, okay, go to the circus with him, because that's what billionaires do. They go to the circus. Why would she need like a black dress to go to the circus?
Look, that was just bad foresight. He knew that bitch was going to turn into a funeral.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
Now, they go to this circus, and I just want to say, that looked like a cool fucking circus. 10 out of 10. But,
The acrobatics are like really cool, but then you realize that, man, this shit was way too high in the fucking air for like any kind of show like that.
well, they wanted you to know that if those people fell, not only would they die, but they would bust.
Yeah, you're getting a little bit of splatter on you.
That's
There's
why
Gallagher
he was dressed
again.
as Gallagher.
Oh no, they popped like watermelons.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
yeah.
Now, whenever we get introduced to Robin, the first thing I thought was, oh yeah, look at old Robin Thomas there.
He just looked like late 90s, early 2000s dude.
Yeah, Rob Thomas
I
from
mean-
Matchbox 20.
Oh, yeah. All right, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
And you get to see him and Santana. They're super smooth on the trapeze.
Man, it's a hot one.
Don't worry, I got tons more Matchbox 20 jokes for whenever his parents die. Can you help them? They're bent. And why does he adopt a 30-year-old man? Oh.
I guess he just felt sorry for him, and plus, like, he couldn't help him because it would blow his cover. Either that, or he just felt really bad that he got duped by a giant cartoon-sized bomb.
They talk about it. 200 pounds of TNT. You know, they got a fucking whole thing of dynamite that he just throws out of there.
And speaking of dynamite, what I've got here today is from Fremont Brewing Company. This is Head Full of Dynamite. It's a hazy IPA, New England style, and man, that has a pretty thick head on it. They weren't lying. Lots of lemon and pineapple, orange, citrusy notes. Give a nice little chug here. Got a foamy mustache on me. It's a pretty solid New England style IPA. It's got, you know, that orange, pineapple, grapefruit, a little bit of mango notes. It's nothing incredible. Like, I'll drink it. It's just a solid, like, middle of the road New England hazy IPA, or whatever you want to call it.
Would that help you get over post-homicidal depression?
I mean, if I drink 3 or 4 or 5, or, I mean, maybe 2, we'll see.
Meanwhile, back at the circus tent, Robin decides to be a hero and push that ridiculous bomb out of the roof of the place, saving everybody's lives. Most people's lives.
Yep, that's pretty much exactly what happens. He pushes this giant comically large bomb like out the top of the circus tent and down into the river.
All the while, Robin's parents fall to their death, and he blames Two-Face for, I don't know, for the next 50 minutes, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how old Dick Grayson is supposed to be here, because, like, when he arrives at the Bat Manor, or the Wayne Manor, he's talking about, like, social services, like he's a fucking child or something, but this is a goddamn adult.
Well, you know, he's that run-of-the-mill 30-year-old teenager or whatever.
I guess so.
Hey kids, I'm a kid too, Steve Buscemi.
And like, this car obviously drops him off, like a Rolls Royce or something, a black whatever, drops him off. But he just suddenly has a motorcycle there?
Yeah, he's escorted there by Commissioner Gordon or whatever.
Yeah, it's not like there's a whole city of crime to deal with or whatever.
So, his whole family, all of them, dead. And he's like, wow, you got a fucking antique Harley and a burger with onion rings on it? Fuck it.
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
Yeah.
While you're at it, throw my family uniform away. I'm one of y'all now.
Yeah, that's great and all, but it definitely comes off with the vibe of, like, a van with free candy written on the side.
Oh, dude,
Sure.
yeah.
Then you got Bruce standing over there uncomfortably close, like, man, you see that cycle? Oh, it'd be great if you could fix it.
If you could just fix it, Master Dick. Robin, fly again.
Okay, like, I know that's what Alfred says. I know his name is Dick Grayson. Don't ever say Master Dick.
I mean, I think that's just Joel Schumacher. Between this and making the Batmobile as phallic as possible, like, I don't really know what to say.
And we get to see that fucking thing here in a second, which I hate the new look of it. I hate it. Everything's just so fucking neon, and I can't stand it. And this whole scene with the stroller nonsense and the fucking Two-Face cars chasing Batman. Who made all these goddamn custom cars?
Oh, you mean Gotham City Customs with the old man yelling at his kid all the fucking time?
You gotta go make sure that half of it's blue and half of it's red. Two-Face is gonna throw a fit. You go fix it your goddamn self. Get out of here.
Yes. Then we get that bit where the Batmobile's being chased by Tommy Lee Jones's goons, and it's like, oh no, there's a lady with a baby carriage. Just kidding. It's actually Tommy Lee Jones with a pair of Tommy guns.
Yeah, I don't remember that part at all. I guess that was before, or was that after Robin or Master Dick stole the Batmobile?
Before.
Okay, that was before. All right.
Yeah, this is the part where like the Batman gets stuck in the alleyway and just decides to go 90 degrees up that building face for whatever reason. Like, I guess it's a homage to like the 60s show or whatever, when they're just like walking across the building, which is clearly on the floor, and then like Sammy Davis Jr. jumps out for whatever reason.
I mean,
Dumb.
yeah. And like I said, what are they gonna do when they get up there? Like, this is like a 100-story building.
Well, if you notice, whenever the bat fucking chopper, or not chopper, the bat wing gets blown up later, it turns into a bat sub. And then I can only imagine that this fucking Batmobile, as it's driving, its little wing things, you know, the fins, they're shaking like they're about to fall off that bitch. I assume that they just flop down and turn into wings.
Okay, so if you've got a Batmobile that can turn into a bat plane, and you've got a bat plane that can turn into a bat sub, and you've got a bat... Why do you need all of these things? Why can't you just have one thing that does it all?
Because Optimus Prime is busy on Tuesdays.
I guess.
You can definitely tell that Joel Schumacher is afraid of questions like that, because in the next movie they just straight up gave Alfred cancer.
Oh, did Alfred build all this shit?
Absolutely. Even later on, when Crystal Dawn becomes Throbbing Robin, he made his suit and everything with a little aura on it.
Yeah. And he mentions that Alfred is quite a mechanic, but, you know, some of these motorcycles still need some work.
He can build a goddamn airplane that shifts into a submarine, but he can't fix a fucking broke down Harley.
It's a very rare Harley.
There's no other Batwing / Bat Sub / Batboat / Batman on the fucking planet. And this dude don't know how to put a spark plug in that motorcycle.
Like I said, it's a very rare Harley. Like, you wouldn't... There's only 111 of them made. You know, he's got to have the parts special ordered from Dubai, and the shipping cost is just crazy. Like, he's got the money, but, you know, like, it's the principle of the matter.
So now we're at Two-Face's hideout for whatever fucking reason. And this place, number one, is fucking cool as shit. And we get introduced to Sugar and Spice. Sugar being Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, just randomly.
Completely forgot she was in this.
Spice being John Travolta from Battlefield Earth.
Why you gotta do her like that?
Like, she was... I looked up her name, Debbie Mazar. She was like the sort of like sketchy bad guy girl in like every 90s movie.
Kind of like how Vicky Valancourt was the standard late 90s, early aughts goth girl.
Yeah.
And we get the Riddler and Two-Face meeting and getting to know each other.
He just pops in. He's just like, yeah, I'm here now.
Like, he's finally the Riddler, but he doesn't get like an entrance or whatever. He just waltzes on the show like it's an episode of Seinfeld or something.
Yes. Fucking, this episode of Riddler and Two-Face was filmed in front of a live studio audience. So whenever Harvey's standing there, the wife immediately, like, this was her one big put in. She stopped looking at her phone, looked at the movie, looked at me and says, "Who cast this? Why isn't Tommy Lee and the FBI or the CIA hunting down the Riddler?"
Or like fucking Commissioner Gordon. Would have been great as Commissioner Gordon.
I 100% agree, but unfortunately he's too busy just being afflicted by Jim Carrey's performance and trying his fucking hardest to not be upstaged in every scene that they're in together. And I feel so bad because he's a great actor, but this is not him.
No, like, and he is being upstaged, but not because he's a lesser actor, but just because, like, in that role, that's what Jim Carrey needs to do.
Yeah, of course.
Two-Face is supposed to be crazy in, like, a homicidal type of way. Like, oh man, he's very logical on one aspect and then a ball of rage on the other. Not, he's very logical on one half and then a fucking Daffy Duck going, woohoo, 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 bouncing all over the screen on the other.
Get fucking Harvey or Bardem or whatever his name is from No Country for Old Men, because that's basically what he was anyway. Call it, friendo.
I feel like that decision would have saved us like an hour 50 or something.
True.
Now, there are some good lines here after they decide that they're going to dap fists and kill the bat. He says, you don't want to just do that because then you'll get post-homicidal depression. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that line.
Well, the scene kind of takes away from it because it's so over the top that you kind of like numb out during it. That you're just like, fuck, be done.
Yeah, but they used this time to just kind of go over their evil scheme about how Edward Ning was going to try to win this monopoly to try to get his like little evil blenders on everybody's heads across the country or something like that.
Yeah, he's trying to get like investors or something, right?
Yeah, try to make it look legit.
And is that before or after they just decide to like run amok and start like stealing jewelry, robbing casinos?
Well,
And
that's them getting the startup capital.
Oh yeah, I remember that because they had that like little bit of like size joke or whatever. Because the Riddler's like, "Hey, I found a diamond," and then Two-Face rolls up with the bigger was like, "No, this is a diamond."
They only have one scene that I genuinely like together, and it's like Tommy Lee Jones punches a dude, and Riddler just like goes, "Hey, that looked fun. Can you show me how to do it?" He's like, "Yeah." You just reel back and then you punch, and it's not for Tommy Lee Jones. It's for Jim Carrey, who reels back and then punches the guy, and nothing happens. He goes, "Ow!" And then that's just the end of the scene.
See, that's a great way to show that one character is all brain, one character is all brawn, but they're too busy basically being the same wacky character. The only difference is one has a melty face and the other has a line of evil small appliances.
Yeah, they get the money. Crime galore, such whatever. And what blows my mind is that this takes off and becomes a very big product, but no one questions it. No one.
I mean, he did have a pretty good point about how, like, you know, they said the same thing about television when it came out.
I mean, I'd probably do it.
Throw that Tesla blender up on top of your TV and see what happens, bitch.
Hey, Elon Musk, get at us.
In the meantime, Master Dick is parkouring into the secret lair.
Yeah, I've got Master Dick Parkour written down. This is after he does like Kung Fu Laundry.
And that is one of the stupidest things I have ever seen.
There
Yeah, I
is
just skipped
absolutely
over it.
no point to that Kung Fu Laundry scene. He's just like, look what I can do. Whoo, 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 whoo.
And Alfred was like, just go be dumb somewhere else, and he just dumbly stumbles into the fucking bat cave.
Was anyone else confused why it was like intruder alert? Intruder alert.
Oh no, someone wants to know all of our secrets. Quick, expose them all!
The thing that was confusing to me was like, this is behind this locked door, like this 2-inch thick door, and he just like accidentally bumps into it and he's suddenly in the bat cave.
It's in the same house that has a chair that leads straight to the bat cave that's activated by saying the word chair.
What?
Just throw yourself down the fucking stairs already. Because right after that, he smiles at the camera like we're supposed to give a shit. And it cuts to fucking Chase Meridian and Bruce, and she's like, here, have a dream catcher, you know, since you have repressed memories. And he's like, dead parents. And she goes, actually, Bruce, you have suppressed sexual anger. And he's like, oh.
Meanwhile, he stumbles upon her collection of articles and everything about Batman and is like, I think you've got an obsession here. I'm out.
He's a detective. He knows if he can sneak out and get his gear, he can get some bat head.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
He's like, give me pussy, I'm Batman.
Maybe if I show her my bat credit card.
Let me check my utility belt. Oh no, I'm out of condoms.
And this is when we find out, this is when, Master Dick steals the Batmobile. Alfred calls him on his watch.
Yeah.
This is 1995. That technology is not available yet. Alfred calls him on his watch and is like, hey, he stole the Batmobile.
Yeah, and the first thing he does is try to pick up some Gotham City hooers.
What blows my mind is the fact that they insult his masculinity. You're like, you're not Batman. You're Batboy.
Well, according to the suit he runs around with, Batman is a very muscular, nipular dude. And when the Batmobile opens up, it's just Chris O'Donnell sitting there.
Did you say nipular?
Yes.
Like powdered toast man.
Man, why don't they sell powdered toast?
Because it's just breadcrumbs.
Oh, shit.
Anyway, I do really like this sort of like neighborhood or whatever that he pulls up into. It's so dark, but everything is like lit up with like this fluorescent black light kind of thing. Like even the bad guys, they've got this blacklight makeup on, which, like, I don't know why they would, but I like it.
It's just Gotham City's local Rasta scene. Amon?
I just assume it's some kind of like a Papa Legba or the guy from fucking, what was it, Predator 2?
Oh.
That kind of vibe.
Chicken Bone
Voodoo
Man.
fucking Magic Man.
Yeah, exactly.
They all start fronting pretty hard on Chris O'Donnell, then like he winds up kicking everybody's ass. And what's so funny about the scene is that like the lead guy, he just kind of stands there and watches it happen.
And then when it looks like he's going to have a little bit of trouble, actual Batman shows up and, you know, they get out of there.
I mean, he must have taken a bat cab or something. I didn't see any Batwing or anything hovering around.
Maybe he parked it on a rooftop. He just drops down.
Oh yeah, I forgot that Batman takes 0 fall damage in this movie.
The exposition that they spout to one another right here is so fucking bad, and him trying to hit Bruce Wayne is like the most childish, pathetic, awful shit I've ever seen in my life.
It reminds me of, I think, the end of Blazing Saddles, where one of like the little dancing performers is trying to beat up one of the cowboys. And it's like, I don't remember what he's saying to him, but he's just like doing these little rabbit punches toward him, and then he eventually just like hugs him. It's like, oh.
Look, his kung fu is only good against laundry. Period.
He's like, we're the same, Bruce. We're the same, but I want to kill.
We are the same, except fucking not at all. First of all, I'm rich and you are poor.
Isn't Robin just rich by proxy? I mean, Batman did kind of adopt him.
Did he?
Hell, even Alfred has a cute little nickname for the guy, Master Dick over there.
They have their little shining moment, and cut to Enigma at his gala for the brain box, and he's like, I'm better than Bruce. I'm better than Bruce.
Like, I know they're having this whole thing about investors and trying to, like, conjure up money and stuff, but I think the whole point of this was just trying to weed out who was Batman.
Yeah, but they specifically want Bruce. Like, they're working to just get Bruce. Like, he already knows it's him.
I thought it was also a little bit of petty revenge for Edward, well, just the way he was treated when he was working for him and all that.
Also, he's got a lot of money. I don't think he actually knows who it is until he, like, sucks up that little brain vial and is like, hey, this guy thinks of bats. Who else thinks of bats?
Nicole Kidman's character.
Yeah, she is definitely horny for Batman.
I mean, the way it plays out, it's almost like the Riddler was fucking horny for Batman at that point.
I mean, you can see that little mound going on a little bit late. I think he is horny for Batman.
Dude, can we talk about the fucking second suit here in a bit? Holy shit.
What, his second bat suit?
His, like, George Clooney-esque suit that they zoom in on the butt cheeks of.
Oh,
my God.
I just like to put this whole movie down as embarrassing.
So he snatches that idea out of his head. Fucking Two-Face shows up. All hell breaks loose. Batman does Batman things.
This is where the movie just doubles down on the dumb, because the whole gala thing could have been entirely uninterrupted, and they could have got exactly what they wanted, but then Tommy Lee Jones just shows up because crime needs to happen, I guess.
Yeah, he's just essentially robbing himself.
Exactly. The man was just trying to sell some blenders.
Yeah, the Riddler's just like, hey man, why didn't you tell me this was going? I mean, we could have been doing this shit all along, you know?
It's just all a mess. It's like not even funny or anything. It's just like, why?
Yeah, but like you said, Batman does Batman things. Nicole Kidman gets horny again. It's like, hey, my place, midnight. I don't remember what happens after that. They trap Batman. There's some poison gas.
There's an explosion where he hides under his cloak and then is buried by rubble. But thankfully, for whatever reason, Robin is there upside down like Spider-Man to give him a kiss. I mean, help him.
It's okay. He's an acrobat. They do that.
Damn it.
And he's just like, I'm your new partner. I've got a cool name. I'm Robin. Batman's like, no. And he's like, nope, I'm your partner. Nice to meet you. That's it.
I like that the only thing that solidifies it is just Alfred sneaks up on him like the butler from Tomb Raider or something. He's like, I've already made this suit. It has an R on it.
For Robin.
It's so dumb because he's like, I guess you are Robin. We're friends. Also, I quit because I want to get some pussy.
Alfred's like, you know what? You're right, Master Bruce. You can quit everything. Go get you some pussy.
He didn't even need to do that. The man's a billionaire, and apparently they just let you do that stuff.
Just grab her by the pussy.
When you're a superstar, they let you do anything.
Oh man! And then it's trick or treat like we were discussing, and it's fucking stupid. And Vicky Vale, instead of them having some intense romantic moment, she knocks over some roses, and he's like, "Dead parent."
Yeah.
He has such a hair trigger about all this. Like, I don't understand how he's still so fucking sensitive.
It's been 30 years by now.
And it was such a small thing, and it triggers like a 10-minute flashback. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. Now, funny story about this. Well, not really funny, but story about this flashback. That bat is actually a gigantic, badass animatronic that looks absolutely amazing. There's a deleted scene where little young Bruce Wayne's standing there, and that fucking giant animatronic is like over top of him flapping, and it's fucking amazing. And they cut it because it was too scary for the the feel of the movie.
I think that was a huge criticism about Batman Returns. It's just too scary for kids, and I think this movie was just made just to fucking sell toys and cars like crazy.
Yeah.
And this is before, the place gets ransacked or, chaos ensues. He's actually going to tell her, hey, after my parents died, I found this cave and, I saw a figure in the darkness and I knew that was my destiny. And Nicole Kidman's just like, what the fuck are you trying to say? You're weird. I'm not feeling it. Pussy is dry right now.
And then she kisses Yoda Batman. Moisture intensifies.
Sploosh.
And then, goons come in. Two-Face, Riddler show. Or is it just Two-Face or is it both of them?
It's both of them, because like while the Riddler's actually doing something, Tommy Lee Jones is just kind of chilling with this coin.
Oh, yeah. And the Riddler runs into the Bat Cave, just starts tossing little cutesy grenades all over the place.
Little Joker grenades.
And then Tommy Lee Jones misses a point-blank shot to Batman's head. Like, come on.
Hey, don't kill him. He won't learn nothing.
I wrote that down. Don't really understand it. Yeah.
It's all kind of whatever, because they pretty much leave him alive, but still blow up his shit. But he's totally rich enough to replace everything immediately.
Yeah, I guess. But he puts like the rest of the bag of grenades into the Batmobile, and it explodes. And this is the first time I remember, like the earliest I remember the word joygasm appearing.
And the script supervisor just in the corner is like, you know what this needs? More cringe.
Yeah. Anyway, so they steal Nicole Kidman, and Robin ran away. The Batcave got destroyed. There's another riddle
that they solve in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, literally like 2 seconds.
Insta models showing off their new uniforms and the bat butt. They give this atrocious fucking team speech.
Okay, so when they're figuring out this final riddle, it's Bruce and Alfred are like, just sort of spitballing together, and they realize, mystery, enigma, it's Edward Nigma. And I was like, I didn't know they didn't know that.
Like I said, the movie just continues to double down on the dumb. Look, the three of us know the difference between the Riddler and Edward Nigma. It's super fucking small. There is no way he did not already know.
Like, that's...
All right. And the Riddler look and act exactly the same. Batman has seen both. Literally, the only difference between Enigma and the Riddler is one is wearing a fucking top hat.
The guy did get a haircut between, his transition, but that's about it. He wears like a little Ninja Turtle mask. The rest of his face is right there.
Yeah, it's him, obviously.
Maybe you just saw him over there. It's like, oh shit, is that Annie Lennox?
Sweet dreams are made of these.
I just thought of something. Jim Carrey's Riddler is Jared Leto's Joker.
Oof.
About Jim Carrey's Riddler, I know my feeling is strong about it, but I don't know if it's like really bad or the only thing that's perfect about this movie.
I think it's because we all grew up on Jim Carrey, and this is just him being Jim Carrey.
Yeah, you just enjoy Jim Carrey. Like, I didn't like 90% of this, but anytime Jim Carrey was just being Jim Carrey, I was just like, it's Jim Carrey.
Like, The rest of this, it's the final battle, like the big bad versus the big good.
Batman and Robin jump in their vehicles and they zoom their way towards Blender Island.
We have the Riddler and Two-Face playing a little game of Battleship. Yeah, I'm right there.
You sank my battleship as the bat boat explodes, launching Robin into the water, who then tries to swim away like, nah, it's cool. But guess what? He's got frogmen under the fucking water.
Yeah. Then the bat plane gets hit, or whatever you call it, and it splashes down to, like, right in the same place. Trying to Batman rescues him from the dudes, and he traps them with a net. They end up, like, crawling onto shore. And what does Robin say when he gets on shore?
No.
I'm gay for you, Batman.
Yeah, I'm not saying it.
The line is, "Holy rusted metal, Batman."
Audible groan.
No, it's just like
Eyes squint, stares at Eric.
no, it's just like everybody kind of stops. Like the audience, everyone on screen just stops and is like, "Wait, what did you say?"
And Chris O'Donnell has the pleasure to explain that bullshit line like, yeah, hey, look, it's metal, and it's kind of rusty.
It's full of holes. Like, it's fun in a little bit of an awkward way. Like, yeah, I know that was supposed to be like an homage line to the fucking Adam West series, but it's done in such a way where you're like, what the fuck did he just say?
We can only brush it off now because it's been like 25 years and we have plenty of time to grieve.
And then the actual boss battle itself takes place on top of the fucking aggro crag from Nickelodeon's Guts.
Good.
It's like,
Do you have it?
I don't even know what it actually is, but it's like a pile of garbage, like only lit in like neon green light.
Did you just describe this entire fucking movie?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, pretty much.
Yes. Pile of garbage lit with neon lights.
Print that on the box, please.
Oh, but it was zero fucking training. Robin beats Two-Face like he's nothing, rescues him, gets captured. Meanwhile, Batman evades a trap, jumps into the fucking main lair with Ziggy Stardust like Rey Mysterio. And I can honestly say this. When I was younger, and even on this watching, I still had a little attachment to the line of Jim Carrey doing the quote of, "If knowledge is power, then a god am," and he gets real deep. Oh. And I was just like, man, that's kind of cool, just because I want to see Jim Carrey as that destructive, truly evil villain, not this like clowny guy. Like, funny dudes make fucking creepy villains, and I think he would be phenomenal in a role like that.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Like, what's that movie with fucking The Cell with Vincent D'Onofrio and J-Lo? He would have been cool in that role.
Dude, if you're looking for like funny man and serious roles, 24-hour photo with Robin Williams is the way to go.
Jesus, yes.
I saw that, but I don't really remember it. I remember liking it a lot more than like the respect that it got at the time, but yeah. So we've got the showdown. We've got Robin and Nicole Kidman, whatever her name is, in like these prison tubes. I don't know.
He says, pick one, and Batman's like, here's a riddle.
But
Batarang!
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And then there's explosions, and like there's a giant like elevator shaft or whatever kind of like mine shaft. I don't really know what this is. It goes down for fucking ever.
It almost seems like the entire building is hollow except for like that top floor, like where the evil layer is.
Uh-huh. But this brings me to like a recurring gripe that I have with not just this film, but a whole lot of films that have like ridiculous things like this. All right, so do they all fall? Like, is it Robin and Nicole Kidman fall down in? And anyway, Batman jumps down in to save them, and somehow he wills himself to fall faster than the others do.
He just wants it more.
Like, how do you make an effort to fall faster?
See, the two that are falling to their death don't want to fall at all, so they're going to fall slower than Batman, who wants to catch up. That's why he can go faster.
Yeah, I mean, put this guy in the fucking falling Olympics.
Fucking the Riddler up top, he's now, something happened to him I don't know what.
It's the main blender that got blown up above him. Like when Batman knocked it with the Batarang, it exploded, and all that knowledge came down and exploded his brain and melted his face.
Dude,
Yeah, that's kind of what I
the
got from it.
singer of the Prodigy.
They smacked that bitch up. Ah.
It's pretty gross. I'm actually surprised they kept that and axed that big bat they had earlier in the movie.
So they're all going down to the bottom of this fucking shaft, like probably 100 stories to, I don't know how. They're falling for a very long time. Batman saves the day, and somehow, Two-Face gets down there, same time. How'd he get down there?
Well, this is where the movie forgot he was alive, and they need to write him out of the movie.
Yeah, and he has to, throw some coins so he can throw some more coins, and then sheer doodah luck, Two-Face falls off of whatever the fuck he's standing on and dies.
Batman kills a major villain by throwing pocket change at him.
Fucking all the changes like bloop 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 falling in the fucking water, and Batman's just hanging there like justice.
It's just a mess, really. Like, after this whole calamity, Two-Face is dead, I guess. The Riddler's in Arkham, and Nicole Kidman decides to just go visit him, just kind of see what's up. I don't know, just to check in.
Yes. And she's there to visit Renfield, because he says that he has lives for the master. Now, can we discuss just the brief 10-second ending of Batman and Robin running at the screen, backlit by the bat signal, while Seal blares in the background?
Wait, I thought it was you too, though.
Yeah, it goes U2, and then it fades into Kiss from a Rose by Seal.
I don't know, but I know that Joel Schumacher was just in the editing room looking at the spotlight shot, and he was just like, yeah, this is hot. Because there's no reason to have this shot in the movie. I mean, I guess he's going for like a superhero thing, but it just comes off silly.
Yeah, and that's kind of the whole movie, isn't it? Like, going for something cool and
It turns out
superhero, but really it's just kind of silly.
I don't know. I wasn't into it. It's just like bad decision after bad decision. So much awkwardness. The whole thing just kind of felt off kilter.
Uh-huh.
It's almost like it's proof that in 2 hours it shows that Tim Burton's a way better filmmaker than you are, and it's kind of embarrassing.
To me, the casting was weird. The direction was all over the fucking place. Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones are the stars of this movie, but even they wear thin quick. The love subplot and the Robin subplot muddy up the entire film. If you're 6 to 11, maybe you'll enjoy it. But Seal couldn't save it.
Yeah, as far as like the casting goes, there's a lot of good actors in this movie, but none of them play characters that they need to be playing. Like, Val Kilmer is solid. He does not need to be Batman. He can't pull off Batman. Tommy Lee Jones is a great actor. Can't pull off Two-Face. I'm still kind of torn on Jim Carrey as the Riddler. Whatever. I think the vision of this movie, I like a lot. Like, I like a lot of the visuals. The sort of neon on, like, the black, dark, grim whatever of Gotham City. I like that. The writing is fucking atrocious. Overall, I'm probably not ever going to watch this movie again.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. Batman Forever from 1995. If you have any strong feelings about the movie or the show, leave it in the comment section below.
Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Hit the little bell icon too, so you make sure that you know next time we've got another one of these brewing.
Get up there. Follow us on all of our different social media accounts. We get that Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and a Reddit. We got an awesome administrator constantly making new stuff for you guys. If you don't check it out, I'll use one of them there Riddler boxes and stream this movie directly into your fucking brain.
Fuck yeah.